Great good morning, everyone. 9:07 a.m. on my Cordaro Jewelers watch this beautiful Friday, July 24, year of our Lord, 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place where the brave, like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group, they've made us. They've kept us free. Like William Billy Jones, Dunmore, James Doc Doherty, Clark Summit, Albert Colbush, McAdoo, and Joseph Polster, Scranton. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers, who knew that government should not be and set about to make sure it would not be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things. Because more government power always means less freedom, less liberty, less choice for Americans. And they knew that power would be abused. That's human nature. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It could not be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how they use and abuse it, no matter how they lie. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, these Americans, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. Oh, yeah, we mean the double entendre. And so we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. A gentle warning, this is not a safe harbor for stupidity. Such nonsense will be roundly, and dare I say harshly attacked throughout the program. We will not suffer fools gladly. Their foolishness and ignorance, willful or otherwise, will be called out with intent, purpose, and vigor, designed and in today's days, sadly necessary to save our great republic from evil, senselessness, and weakness, which can bring this noble experiment, even now, down. We've got to oppose it, and that's what we're here for. Well, great good morning, everyone. Did I say what time it was on my Picardo's watch? Did I, Bulldog? I hope I did. Did I say what time it was? Okay, it's 9:11 now. In any event, if you go and you're looking for different ways to experience the program, you could go to YouTube. You go to WILK, Bob Cordaro Show on YouTube, and there we are. And it's brought to you. You'll see the little banner on the bottom, powered by Roach Supply. Roach Supply, the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania, celebrating 75 years in business. Visit Roach Supply, R-O-C-H-E, roachsupply.com today, and you'll see my alternatively smiling and scowling moon face expressing it. I have my Hope for Greg shirt on. And I've actually got to get an update on this. My old friend Greg Vladika, he needed a liver transplant. Not, and it wasn't, you, people always think, well, did he drink? No, he had a malfunctioning liver. And the interesting thing about liver transplants, why I would ask some of you to look into it, I did, but I'm too old, I guess. Plus, my, my, my liver's gotten a lot of exercise over the years. But that aside, the liver transplant, unlike other transplants, you don't lose the organ. They take a piece of it and then it grows back. So the recipient benefits incredibly, and you suffer very limited period of time and no dysfunction, and your liver grows back completely. Just mentioning it because I was thinking about Greg today because I pulled this shirt out of the drawer. I have too many T-shirts, and so I've got a pile that I'm going to take to the Salvation Army. But I'm waiting because I got new sneakers at Scranton Running. Cutie didn't like my sneakers. She said they were dirty looking and ugly and blah, blah, blah. And they had gotten over 2 years' time. And so I said, okay. She said, why don't you get black sneakers? Well, I said, okay, Cutie, I will get black. I got 2 pairs of black sneakers down at Scranton Running Store. And I got, and I'm not a runner, so it's not, you're not stuck. You don't have to run to go to the Scranton Running Store. Anyway, I got some fantastic socks also, 4 pairs of socks. So that was when I got them this week, and I've been motoring around in them. But last night, late afternoon, the radio station had an event, speaking of Basilica hospitality, which I was earlier. We had a nice event. It was sort of a celebratory thing. The radio stations were here with KRZ and Froggy, La Mega. But the radio stations had a little party at Atera. Hors d'oeuvres and drinks at that gorgeous. I just love the place. I'm telling you, I love it. And it was good. It's good to be with the gang from all the radio stations that you see in passing and so forth and all that. It was a pleasure, real true pleasure. And I'm telling you, for events, like a small event or a small gathering, they really put on the dog. And they've got the outdoor going as well. I happen to not like to be in the sun, believe it or not. I like when it's sunny, but I like to be protected, covered. But we could have used the outside because it wasn't overly hot. It was actually perfect weather yesterday. But we were inside. Just very, very enjoyable. The service, as always, exquisite. The food, excellent. The Cutie came along later and had the Bronzino, which this is the second time I've had it. It was awesome. I prefer it boned. I like to see the whole fish, but she wanted to take a picture of it, so she got it unboned. So, after the first few bites, now you're fighting through the little bones, which it doesn't interest me after a couple scotches. But it was great. Everything was great. So the radio stations event at Atera was outstanding. They did a great job. Thank you to them and all that. Just so you guys know, for the moment, I don't know why, but I do not have, and Bulldog, you know this, right? I don't have the texts. So you may have to call me, which I like it either way, by the way. 570-883-0098 to call or to text. All right, so let's go to subject number 1, 5 to follow. And that is Iran. I'm a little bit frustrated with it. Trump is hinting that we're going to do something major. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I understand fully why we did this ceasefire. I understand it fully. I didn't agree with it even at the time, unless we were short on weaponry and just didn't want to disclose it. And I also don't agree, but I understand why we are not putting boots on the ground to do whatever to have the Strait of Hormuz completely open and unfettered by the Iranians. That's two things I don't agree with on the president's strategy. Now, it's easy for me to say from my armchair, he's got to receive the bodies when they come back. I get it. Believe me, I get that. He also will be responsible if we go into a massive bombing campaign. He will be responsible to fix Iran from all the things that we break and destroy. So I get both of those things. And I remind you, I'm one, as we say in Dunmar, 1,000% behind what he's doing. And I'm 1,000% behind the timing of what he's doing because he knew, Trump knew, and this is credit where credit is completely due. He had to go there. It had to be done. The Iranians were going to get a nuclear weapon and they were going to use it. Now, you think you're paying gas prices that are high now. I don't even think they were going to blackmail the Western world. I think they were going to straight out do what they said, which is use the nuclear device on Israel. You'd have mass chaos. You'd have a world war breakout. You'd have an economy, a world economy in free fall. And he knew it. Now, let's go to the timing. So it had to be done. Let's go to the timing of it. I wish he could have waited till after the midterms. I can't have these communists taking control of either house of Congress. We can't. Well, Trump saw what they were building up. And you're talking hundreds of ballistic missiles being built every month. You're talking about thousands of drones being built every month. And he knew if he waited till November or December that there'd be more American loss of life. And obviously, Saudi loss of life, Kuwaiti loss of life, everybody they're attacking. So he knew that. And it would be tougher to penetrate. So he took the gutsy non-political decision to do what he had to do as soon as possible. Now, these delays, to me, again, I'm not the one greeting the bodies of our service people if we had gone into Iran to take care of the Strait of Hormuz. If we'd gone to Karg Island, if we'd done a number of things that seem apparent we have to do. So, but I believe firmly we're in a war and we've got to behave like it and we've got to get total victory, period. And the Strait of Hormuz is part of total victory. Degrading and at least for foreseeable future, eliminating their nuclear threat is the second goal, or one of the goals, one of the primary goals. But there's no way on God's green earth that these sick, twisted, evil leaders of Iran are going to give anything up. They'll agree to a lot of things. They'll never do them. That's what you're confronted with. So, Trump, he gets a B plus from me for this effort. And I'm now like, well, all right, let's get it done. Let's get it done. I think most Americans, including the vast majority of those that support this intervention, most Americans and the vast majority who support the intervention overall say, let's get it over with. Those who support the intervention, like me, say, let's get it over with decisively in our favor. We'll see. 13 nights of strikes against Iran. We're doing damage. We're causing issues. I think they said we were at about 75 to 80% of what they called the target package. You know what that is. That we had put together before it started in February. And now we're doing the other, 25 to 20%. All right. Keep going. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Bob Cordaro, WILK. The Zombies. She's not there. Murph says they released their hit single this date, 1964, on Decca Records. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. I can't believe it's Friday already. I really can't believe it. Okay, we got the text back. Let's see here. Sneakers and socks. How about, but do you change your underwear every day? Of course I do. What does that mean? How does that one lead to the other? Bob, did Dan Muser give you one of his personal reserve Fuente Opus X? No. I did not ask for it either. I did. You know what? Here's the problem. You know, you go to Top Shelf Booth, or let's say you fly private or first class. It's very hard to go back to the original. I remember many years, well, not many, it is many years ago, I guess. It's 26 years ago, maybe a little longer. Tommy Harris and I are campaigning for Congress. So we go to a party for somebody's 60th birthday, Bob Pettinato, because we knew there'd be Republicans there, and we're campaigning for the primary. Well, somebody had given him a Louis XIII cognac. And so we, not Tommy, but me, I'm sharing the Louis XIII, and I had always drank cognac. I couldn't go back to it after having that. So it's like, no, I don't want the best wine in the world. I don't want top shelf wine. How do you go back? So I want to stay happy with something I can afford on a consistent basis. So no, I wasn't even aware he had a collection, but whatever. All right, Bob, why don't you talk about H.R. 8800? Our country is about to be taken over by Israel, at least our military. That's a treasonous act, if you ask me. The senators vote on it today. Now, I've gotten texts and blurbs about this over the last month or so. And Marjorie Taylor Greene made a statement, and Massey, I think, is another one. I don't agree at all that the bill the House is voting on has anything to do with having Israel taking over our military. I think that's a tinfoil hat bullspit thing. I don't know how these things even get started, but they do, and deservedly need to be addressed. Because obviously you have someone you trust, or you've read something that you trust that gives you the concern. I don't agree even 1% about that statement, that it's our military or country is being taken over by Israel. It's nonsense. So I completely disagree with the premise, period. Now, they continued and had another text. It says, you're talking about Iran, but Israel's committing genocide. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. You're lying. Or you're stupid. I don't know which. I don't know which. Tell me which. Text back and tell me which you are. All right? You're lying or stupid. Israel committing genocide. In what way? Seriously. You sound like... I almost had a curse word. You sound like Mamdani. You sound like Paige Cognetti. You sound idiotic. Please don't be an idiot. All right? In fact, listening to the show is anti-idiot medicine. So keep taking the medicine. You'll come around to be rational once again. Israel's committing genocide. Our military is being given over to them. But it's so stupid. I can't even... How do I even have a discussion with you? Seriously. And I love you. You're listening to the show. You're part of the large dysfunctional family, but you're bringing the dysfunction to the family. Somebody takes it, Bob LTS. Back at you. I think Trump may have a secret agenda. Perhaps that is why no boots on the ground. My granddaughter's back from Kuwait and Jordan recently. Thank you, God. She and her husband are Army, and they believe we needed to be there, the Middle East. So I'm with this administration 100%. God help us. We need to turn things down and around, and these communists, socialists in America need to be squashed down, Mountaintop says. I'm with you on all of those sentiments. Bob LTS, most independents and moderate Republicans I talked to are now voting Democrat in hope of lower gas prices. Well, see, and I've heard those kind of things, and I'm like, and the listener continues, if you elect Democrats, I tell them gas will go higher because they'll stop producing gas everywhere and start up the new Green Deal again. How could our memories be this short? Because remember, who's going to decide this? The people in the middle. How could your memories be this short? We know why gas prices have increased. We know, if you're listening and paying attention, that Iran was an existential threat to the world economy, to our allies, including European allies, by the way, because their ballistic missiles could reach Paris. So, yeah, anybody who thinks, oh, these gas prices are high, I'm going to vote Democrat. That's so insane, I can't even talk to you rationally. They're not going to lower gas prices. They've said it, and they did it. You already saw their policies. Gas prices went up because they said gas is bad. They want you in battery-powered cars so they can control you. Yeah, I've heard this over and over. And by the way, you got to acknowledge reality. People are that stupid and short-sighted. Voters are that stupid and short-sighted. They are. So you got to deal with it. You got to deal with what is, not try to change people, but I'm still astonished people are that dumb. My God, frightening. All right, we'll take a break. 9:35 on my Picardo's watch. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. We got to be with him a little bit and talked with him at Atera last night. Love the guy. Love him. Well, Atera 519, Chef Alex Diaz. Unbelievable. Great guy, too, by the way. And he's the new deal, and he's fantastic. Remodeled the menu, lower price points on most of the entrees, and it's just fabulous. It really, I can't brag enough about it. And if you're looking for fine dining in Wilkes-Barre or the Wilkes-Barre area, the Stegmeyer Mansion, more of the same greatness in dining experience in an old world setting. Awesome. Well, bar restaurants, Queen City Tavern, Oliphant, Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton, and the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. And Sergey's will be hopping tonight right underneath the Terra at 519 Linden, the nightclub in Northeast PA. William Billy Jones. We lost him July 17th. He's depicted in his uniform, in his obituary picture. He was from Dunmore. He died at home unexpectedly. Survived by his wife for 25 years, the former Deborah Brazen. He was born in Scranton, son of the late William and Clara Clark Jones. Buried out of Carl Savino Funeral Home, West Scranton. Billy Jones. James Doc Doherty. Doc was 82 when we lost him July 14th. He was from Clark Summit. He was the husband of the late Patricia Doherty, who he lost back in 2024. Born in Ayer, Massachusetts, he was a 1962 graduate of St. Paul High School. He served all of us in the U.S. Army as a sergeant in the 109th, the legendary 109th Infantry, from January 65 to August 1970. Doc was an electrician with the great IBEW Local 81 and a project manager for Procter & Gamble until his retirement. Doc was a parishioner of Our Lady of Snows Parish, a beloved husband, father, grandfather, they called him Pop-Pop, and friend to so many. He's survived by his 3 children, their spouses, and his 5 grandchildren, as well as other family members. Doc Doherty. Our great veterans this hour are brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. AccuWeather forecast brought to you dutifully, as always, by the great gang up at Montage Mountain Resort, where the water park is in full swing. And they tell you it's another great water park day and a great water park weekend ahead. It's a very short drive for an amazing experience at the water park at Montage. Today, mostly sunny. Nice day for outdoor activities. Why does AccuWeather give us these things? We know that. I'm crossing that out. So give me a moment. I'm going to cross that out. I don't think they need to tell any of us that. This audience is too smart. Although maybe they're doing it for the dummy-crats out there. High 84. Tonight clear, low 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Beautiful start to the weekend. High 86, low 57. Sunday, some sun, then turning cloudy, but it'll still be 86 degrees with a low of 62. Remember, they were thinking thunderstorm, but it ain't on the forecast right now, Sunday. Monday, starting next week, more humid with sunshine mixing with some clouds, an afternoon thunderstorm possible, high 85, low 69. Tuesday of next week, mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm. Thunderstorms can bring flooding downpours. Well, I'm crossing that out too. We know that, all right? I want to let you know what there's a hail and damaging wind gust. Okay, high 81, low 62 for next Tuesday. That will change. I'm sure of it. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort, where the water park is just perfect for the weather. Cutie's telling me there's a party for the Anthracite Heritage Museum, Christmas in July party tonight at 6 o'clock at Sergey's. Sounds interesting. See, Cutie tells me where to go. It's one of those things, and I'm not a henpeck person or henpeck type person, but there's certain things I don't want to think about, like my social life. I just don't. I don't have time to think about it. I'm thinking about the things we're going to do and talk about here on the program, and pretty much 7 days a week. Unless I'm laughing about something or walking, even when I'm walking Chauncey. So I don't know. Cutie might drag me to that, but I won't be dragged because it's at Sergey's. It's a great stop, and so I'll tell you, Cutie, we'll see. We'll see about all that. But the fact that it's at Sergey's is a good thing, you know. 9:45, and that was T-Rex. Murph tells us it was the number one hit in the UK. This date, 1971. Bang a gong, get it on. 9:45, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. If it wasn't for Murph, I wouldn't know that was Sweet Hitchhiker. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Murph says moving up the charts with their hit Sweet Hitchhiker. July 24th, 1971. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program as we head to the Bloomberg Money Minute. We'll find out what the markets are doing with this war in flux. The markets are looking for direction, although they keep moving up. They keep moving up. By the way, our friends Tom Donahue and Kathleen Donahue, Kate, are the ones who are doing this event at Sergei's. And that is, it's $30 for the donation, okay? It includes 2 drinks, light food. Regular admission, which is no cost. You could just walk, you could go to Sergei's anyway. But they ask you, maybe, give a donation and participate in this event for the Anthracite Museum. It'll be great stuff. That's at Sergei's tonight. Well, the sweep hand on my Bacardo's watch is relentless, and it's telling me it's time for Bloomberg Money Minute. 9:50. Paul Revere and the Raiders. This date, 1971, Murph tells us it was the #1 hit. And you can see why. Indian Reservation. It was their only #1 hit. They had 16 top 10s, but this was their only #1. Well, speaking of #1 for those of you driving and listening, Brian Hughes in this studio to tell us about a little traffic issue that actually one of our great listeners brought to our attention on 81 South.
All right, Bob, we've got a crash on Interstate 81 southbound, right in the area of the Ashley Sugar Notch exit. That's exit 164. And we're seeing backlogs slightly south of the Highland Park Boulevard exit. That's the exit to get off to go to the arena.
Okay.
So that's what we have so far. Hopefully it's not going to be as busy as it was yesterday.
All right. Well, if you could update us on that as time goes on, because a lot of our listeners are driving south on 81. They got to know.
You got it.
All right. Thank you, Brian Hughes. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was a subject I wanted to bring up. It escapes me. But it will come back because there's only so many things that matter. I do a 5 to follow to help guide me throughout the day. Iran is really the key. The New York Post had I guess an opinion column that my man Mark Mayer sent me, and it basically says we could be in some kind of a stalemate here because and they call it it's a Tehran death trap, and it ends with the words "only death will stop them," and I don't see how you can make any other conclusion. We don't apparently have, and by the way, I'd be asking the Israelis now, I've said this for a couple of months, we've got to kill the next generation, the next level of Iranian leadership. We've got to wipe them out because death is the only answer for this kind of evil. We've got the power to kill them. Kill them. We may not have the intelligence now because the Israelis actually, in the first 2 strikes at the dual levels of the Iranian leadership, the Israelis may have killed the very sources who were providing that information. We don't know a lot of these things. But if I'm Trump, I'd be saying, look, you guys have amazing intelligence, human intelligence, in Iran. Go kill the next generation or tell us where they are. We'll kill them. The next level. These people have to be killed. There isn't an alternative. That sounds cruel. It sounds, oh, yeah. No, it's sadly what has to be. You've got, all right, let's go back. And this is no different, by the way. Now, here's your Hitler comparison that actually works. We should have killed Hitler. We would have prevented tens of millions of lives lost. Joseph Stalin should have been killed. Tens of millions of lives would have been preserved. We should have killed Mao. Tens of millions of lives would have been saved. So now we know who the immediate threat is. It happens to be Iran. They happen to be trying to create the end of the world or their version of it, the return of the 12th Imam, by creating massive chaos and destruction. That's why they want the nuclear weapon. They want their 12th Imam to return. They want an apocalypse. They've got to be killed. What else do you do with a person like that? Seriously. And that's where we are. And it sounds easy because it's simple, but it isn't easy. And that's why Donald Trump has been hesitating. But it's a harsh, stark reality. They need to be killed. Period. It's the only option. It's kill or be killed. Sooner or later. 10:02 on my Picardo Jewelers Watch on that happy note. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back after the news. Great good morning, everyone. It's 10:07 a.m. on my Ricardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Friday, July 24, year of our Lord 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we salute today but lost this year, and we thank John for letting us celebrate them. Like James Doc Doherty, Clark Summit, William Billy Jones, Dunmore, Albert Kobush, McAdoo, and Joseph Polster, Scranton. The United States of America. The country with the history, amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America, all of which we will use as our guides. Let's continue this battle because it never ends. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Well, apparently, somebody's distressed with truth. Bob, you are evil, pure and simple. You cannot war crime and genocide your way out of the quagmire boondoggle Iran war. Well, you don't know anything about the Iranian regime. That's obvious. And yet you're willing to state silly things. You don't know anything about the Iranian regime. Nothing. You don't know anything about history. But you'll make that statement, that idiotically naive statement. So, you are either ignorant or stupid. I can't help you. Just continue to listen, because we love you. Continue to listen, and maybe you will discover why you're wrong. And another listener. I mean, these people actually exist. Some of them may be kidding, but I'm going to read this text. Bob, Iran needs a nuclear bomb to protect itself against America after we Pearl Harbored it. Now, if this person believes that, we need to admit them to a psychiatric hospital quickly. Somebody else, Putin is helping Iran target our forces and silence from Trump. We discussed this the other day. We do it for, and have been doing it for, and providing intelligence and all kinds of information. We do it for Ukraine. We do it and did it in Afghanistan and all of that. By the way, somebody else texted in, I don't know who's worse, you or Nazi Nancy in the morning. She's a left-wing lunatic. You're just as bad as she is too uneducated. Oh, no, two uneducated idiots. I'm sorry, I'm done. I can't listen to you morons anymore. Well, if fact from this program, I get why, well, first of all, Nancy's spouting insanity in the morning. Political left-wing insanity, and is demonstrably wrong about pretty much everything. I'm right about pretty much everything. So if those two ends of the spectrum, truth and foolishness, bother you, I can't help you. I just can't help you. I'm sorry. By the way, somebody else on a lighter note says, Bob ALTS, good morning and greetings. May I suggest, for consideration, a send-off song for this Friday? Toby Keith and Willie Nelson, Whiskey for My Men and Beer for My Horses. I'll let you know, Bulldog has found it, and that will be our finishing song today. That will be our finishing song. There was no great finishing song in Murph's historical collection today, so it's going to work for us. I like it. In any event, so when I tell you that evil needs to be destroyed, and you call me evil for saying it, I don't know where to go from there. Like, where do we go from there? If you don't acknowledge that the Iranian leadership is evil, now these are the people who killed up to 52,000 of their own citizens prior to our attacking Iran. They've stated unequivocally that they wish to destroy Israel and destroy the United States. They've built up, with all of their resources available to them, by the way, the resources that Obama and scumbag Biden gave them, allowed them to have, and gave them a ballistic missile capability that is beyond anything that we've seen. Certainly in the Middle East, but other than the United States and Russia. And their intention was to use it. They said so. Their religious fervor and their leadership in Iran says it is our job to bring about the return of the 12th Imam, which is their version of the apocalypse. And you're saying I'm evil because I'm saying we've got to kill them to prevent this. Okay, the end of the world, it's not a big deal. I mean, come on. Can you be any more naive? Can you be any more silly? That I'm the person that's wrong. That I'm the person that's evil. I don't get it. What, and by the way, using that word genocide proves you're stupid. There have been only a few actual genocidal efforts. They've been in Africa. They've been in Red China by Mao. They've been in Cambodia by Pol Pot. They've been in Europe by Adolf Hitler. They've been in Ukraine and other parts of the Soviet Union by Stalin. Now, you don't know what genocide is. Why do you throw fascism and genocide around these people? I don't get it. If I don't understand a word, and in fact, if I use a word, this is just advice for you. If I use a word for a number of years, I will go to I have this huge dictionary in my library at home, and I'll go to that dictionary and I'll look it up as a refresher course because we get lazy in using words. One of the laziest, by the way, on a related but not direct point, is anti-Semitism. We talk about anti-Semitism. Well, the Arabs in the Middle East are Semites. So it's wrong to say anti-Semitism, and it's commonly used. We also call the people who live in Gaza and the West Bank on either side of Israel Palestinians. And that's wrong, unless we're going to also call Israelis Palestinians. Because Palestine is the area of Israel and a broader area that the Romans named Palestine. So I guess that's how you get there. I guess that's how you get, start misusing words, which, by the way, you see the left doing it all the time. Birthing mothers, all the silliness. And we think it's silly, but it leads to erroneous, idiotic thinking and results. Something else. That listener retorts, Bob, Iran's leadership is evil. You are also evil. Both can be true at the same time. Of course you don't get it. You're a malignant narcissist too. So, okay. What are you? And we're in a text conversation. You're afraid to call. I get it because you're stupid. But what do you propose to do with Iran's evil? What do you propose to do about it? Please tell me. And by the way, you're also the idiot who used the word genocide. A listener says, I'm going to prove how stupid Mr. Cordaro is on Monday. I'm going to send you a mountain of evidence that Israel's committing genocide. It's called Do Your Research, Dummy. Well, you're a dumb, stupid person. I cannot help you. I really can't. You don't know what genocide is. I'm asking you to at least look up the definition so that you know that you're wrong without me having to waste my breath. Could you please do that? Look up the word genocide. Please look it up. I'll have the definition when we come back. And maybe, my God. By the way, Bugzar texts in to finish off this segment. Good morning, Bob. Ask those trolls what Sharia law, caliphate mean and stand for. Islamic laws and go by or else is what? You either go by the Islamic laws or else. Stupidity is rampant in the Democrat Party. Yeah. And it is. I don't get it. Like, why do you want to be stupid? And Kim asks us, why do they live here if that's how they feel? I don't get it. Because they're hypocrites. Because they lie to themselves. They choose to be ignorant. I don't know why. But we'll come back with a definition of genocide for the idiots who are throwing that word around. We've already done it with fascism. Let's do it with genocide. We'll be back on the Bob Cordaro Show. as I say with so many things, that's black and white, Murph tells us, Three Dog Night. They released their hit this date, 1972. The original Star Trek series. That with Godfather 1 and 2 and The Twilight Zone hold all of the keys to the human condition. And when I see that song, Black and White, I immediately think of a Star Trek episode. You guys will remember the name, as will my brother Mike, but I don't remember the name of it. But the people were half black and half white. And they couldn't figure out why they were trying to kill each other. And Frank Gorshin, who played the one guy, says, what are you, blind? He says, I'm black on the left side. He's black on the right. And it showed the idiocy of the whole race issue. But here we are. In any event, that was also the Apollo 11 astronauts, 1969, this date. They landed and splashed down safely in the Pacific. Well, can we traverse 81 safely, Brian Hughes? Somebody said there was significant state police activity there as well.
Yes, we have a multi-vehicle accident, actually, on 81 southbound, and it's shut down now on the ramp at exit 168 Highland Park Boulevard to the Nanticoke exit, which is exit 164. So that's shut down right now.
Highway shut down?
Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that must have been
southbound.
A
if you're going
accident.
north, it should be okay, but southbound, your best bet as far as alternate routes go would be Business Route 309.
But so you've got basically a shutdown of 81 South.
For the time being, we'll keep you posted as soon
Please.
as it reopens up. And to answer your question about the episode from Star Trek, the name of the title of the episode, Season 3, Episode 15, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield.
How about that? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Brian Hughes in the studio about this traffic situation on 81 South. All right, I said I would get to genocide for you. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my dictionary. I've got to go by this AI, Google AI. But here's what it says. Genocide is a crime under international law defined by specific acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Key acts include killing members of the group, causing them serious harm, and inflicting destructive living conditions. All right, let's look at this in the context of the Gaza situation. So Hamas comes across the border October 7th, 2023. They indiscriminately slaughter unarmed civilians. They indiscriminately sexually assault. And by the way, they recorded this. They recorded this. Slaughtered women and raped them and sexually mutilated them. They slaughtered babies and infants. And they took, 250 hostages, whom they tortured and many of whom died. Now, that is an attempt at genocide. Israel's response, because Hamas was embedded in hospitals and amongst the population, using them as human shields, in as careful a military operation has ever been conducted. Now, let's go further. Is Israel trying to commit genocide against the Gazan people? Well, they're not doing a great job of it because there are twice as many Gazans as there were 10 years ago. So I guess they're failing at their genocidal efforts that you want to lie about and that you've been foolishly and derangedly brought into. So wake up. Seriously, wake the hell up. And I'm going to say one thing further. If you don't wake up, please don't vote. Please do not vote. I'm begging you. You're too stupid to vote. That doesn't mean you don't have the capacity to learn. Try it. Try to learn instead of being insane. It's better. I'm telling you it's better. It's a great place to be. Now, I was sent an article by my man Mark Mayer. And let's see who. Okay. Genocide. Islamic jihadists have killed 314,769 since 9/11. Okay? And it goes through all of their efforts to kill. And I go back to what I say often. Does anyone seriously believe, and if you do, we need to check you into a mental institution. Does anyone believe that on September 11, 2001, that the sick, diseased, mentally imbalanced, evil Islamists who killed 3,000 plus people that day, if they could have killed 30,000, would they have hesitated? If they could have killed 300,000, would they have hesitated? If they could have killed 3 million, would they have hesitated? All of these answers are no. They wouldn't have hesitated. If they killed 30 million, if they could have killed 30 million, would they have hesitated? The answer is no. If they could have killed 300 million in America, would they have done so? The answer is, of course they would have. Please. Oh, my God. Yeah. By the way, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. You're too stupid. Seriously. The sheer hubris you personify, this idiot writes in. You obviously know nothing of history. But you can't spell it. I'm explaining history to you, dummy. You see what you go down a rabbit hole. But by the way, it serves a purpose to reiterate the truth. So idiocy has its place. And by the way, it can't be avoided. Evil can't be avoided either. And they work together to destroy this great country. So this idiot, they say, if we couldn't handle Afghanistan and Iraq, why do you believe we can conquer Iran? Disgusting idiots, Bob. I'm not saying we can conquer Iran. See, that's the point. That's the other point with the leftist goofballs. Leftist insanity does not listen to what you actually say. I am not saying, first of all, I know we could conquer them militarily. Also, their evil leadership does not have legitimacy among the population of Iran. There's about 70 million people who aren't in on the gag who would govern themselves and take over. So you're missing the entire point. You don't even know that Iran is not Arab. It is Persian. You don't know that Persia was never Muslim and certainly never Islamic. It was a multi-religious country and always was, and multi-religious culture. So you don't know history at all. like God, it's frightening. And you're walking around. I'm going to tell you this. I care for you. And when the next time you go to cross the street, since you will never face reality, let me help you or have someone else help you because you won't see the bus that's coming. 10:33 on my Bacardo's watch. We'll be back with the Veterans Tribute, and let's do that. Let's do this fight for them. We'll be back. It's our veterans tribute this hour, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. We are featuring Basiliga Hospitality Group. Hey, big event. I was at Terra last night and just thoroughly loved it, as did a bunch of people from the radio group here. Sergey's tonight. We've got an event. Christmas Eve in July. The great Donahue gang, Kate and Father Tom, the people from Lamar, are putting it on to benefit the Anthracite Heritage Museum. And you can participate or not at Sergey's. Starts at 6 o'clock. And you go there, $30. You get a couple of drinks, some light hors d'oeuvres. A DJ will be there. And that's tonight. Good event. And I've been at their fundraisers at Sergey's. They're really well done. Good stuff. Albert Kolbush. We lost him July 19th. He was from McAdoo. He was 91 years old. His family and loved ones by his side when he passed away at home. Loving husband, father, grandfather. Devout Catholic, member of All Saints Church, McAdoo. Born in McAdoo. A veteran who served in the United States Army. He worked briefly for Bethlehem Steel before being hired by UPS, where he worked as a driver for 36 years before retiring in 1996. He was periodically rewarded by the UPS for safe driving. One of his passions was planting a garden every spring and summer, even in his later years. Preceded in death by a slew of brothers and sisters. Surviving, though, his wife of 65 years, the former Monica Guzak. His sons, a daughter, their spouses, one sister, a bunch of grandchildren, nieces, nephews. Albert Kolbush, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast today, mostly sunny, high 84 degrees. Tonight, clear, low 58. Montage Mountain Water Park bringing you this, and it's almost like they created the weather just for you to go to Montage and enjoy the water park. I can't wait to get up there. Mostly sunny tomorrow, Saturday. A beautiful start to the weekend, high 86, low 57. Sunday, some sun, then turning cloudy, high 86, low 62. Monday, more humid. Sunshine mixing with some clouds, possible afternoon thunderstorm, high 85, low 69. Tuesday of next week, mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, high 81, low 62. Again, perfect week for Montage, and they bring you the weather, and it's 73 degrees at Montage Mountain right now. Murph tells us this date, 1976, Elton John, Kiki D. They moved from number 32 to number 8 with their hit, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And remember, this was still when you had to go to Joe Nardone's Gallery of Sound and buy the record. That's how they moved from number 32 to number 8. Isn't that something? Hey, Jessica Frine, she's on the line. She's going to tell us about this amazing event that the Providence Pregnancy Center is hosting. Talk to me, Jessica. How are you?
Hey, Bob. Good morning. I'm doing great, and thanks for having us again. Yeah, the event's coming up. We're only a few days out now. August 6th at Stone Meadow Gardens, and it's going to be a fabulous
I've never been there
evening.
to Stone Meadow Gardens. It looks beautiful on the Instagram pictures.
It is gorgeous. Bob, who owns it, was a landscape architect, so all the grounds are just incredible. He's got Stonehenge and everything's in full bloom. That's why we chose August for the event, and he's donating the space to us. So shout
nice.
out to him.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
and then
August 6th, what time and what's available?
Okay, so August 6th from 6 to 9. So the registrations are all done online ahead of time, and there's live jazz, there's bourbon tastings, cigars. The food is all catered by State Street Grill and Clark Summit. They have incredible food. We have a silent auction, which is actually live now. So if anyone can't come to the event but would like to participate and support what we're doing, you can go to our website and register for the silent auction for free as well. But all of those items from our auction will be on display at the event the night of. It's going to be a really nice, just casual mingling event. No heavy speakers or anything. So more just a chance for, the community to get together and have some drinks and good food and support a great cause.
Well, Jessica, I take that as a warning and a caution to me to not carry on when you give me the microphone. Is that what you're saying?
No, please do. We're counting on you carrying on.
No, I will be brief. I will be brief.
No, we're so excited to have you, Bob. I know you're going to elevate this. You're going to make it fun. We have a lot of high expectations from you. So,
well, I mean, how could you not have fun when at that beautiful setting with an amazing cause, Providence Pregnancy Center, and bourbon, wine, and cigars? That's every ingredient you might possibly. Oh, and State Street food. It's every agreement or ingredient you'd possibly need.
Exactly. Yeah. And State Street is catering this event, also donating all of their services and food and staff for the night of. So we've got some great community support going into this, and now we just need all of your listeners to register and come and join us for a great night.
Love it. Love it. Jessica, thank you so much, and we'll have this conversation again very soon next week, okay?
All right. Sounds good, Bob. Thanks again.
Thank you. August 6th, Providence Pregnancy Center fundraiser, 6 o'clock. I'll be there. Looking forward to it. And we're helping pregnant mothers. They are helping pregnant mothers every day with a choice to save that baby's life, to bring that baby into the world. It couldn't be more important. Could not be more important. 10:44 and change on my Picardo's watch. We'll be back. The Beach Boys. Murph tells us this day, 1976, they had their 45th hit, but just their first top 10 in over 10 years with that song, Rock and Roll Music. It was number 9. This date, 1976. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Couple of quick notes here. I want to, let's do this. We've got a petition signing, the Luzerne County petition signing. We only have about a minute, my man, but fire away for me if you could.
Sure. So here's the, let me off my earpiece so I can talk to you. There you go. That's better. We only have about a minute to go, so I just want everybody to know we're almost at the deadline. August 2nd is our deadline to get everything in. We have people at West Pittston across from the Garrity's today, and in Chickasha, down in the southern part of the county, at the Sunoco gas station there in Chickasha, from noon until probably 8 o'clock tonight.
Wow!
But we need to get as many people out as we can. We're really close. We're about 8,000 signatures so far. We have 2 more weeks to go, and it's very, very important that the people of this county speak out about this anti-discrimination ordinance that this socialistic county council, some of them, have passed. This is really a bad piece of legislation that's going to affect everybody in this county. So people need to rise up, come out, sign a petition so we can get the question on the ballot in May of next year at the primary, because we won't make it to the general this year. Mm-hmm. But let the people decide. I think that's important that the people decide.
But here's another point. It is going to cost taxpayers of Luzerne County so much money from lawsuits. Their taxes are going to have to go up just to cover the idiocy of this effort by the lunatic left members of the Luzerne County Council.
And that's very true. And they created their own board. The Human Relations Committee is formed by this socialistic group, and that's bad.
They will
but
be
thanks, Bob. I
horrible.
appreciate the opportunity to make the announcement.
And thank you for doing the work.
And Garrity's in West Pittston. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.
My Bacardo's watch says 10:50. We'll be back. I hate that I have to do this, but following this song, which Murph tells us is Fleetwood Mac, with a great tune, number 4, this date 1982, Hold Me, but we've got to do it. The boy from Baltimore, Joe Biden, day 220, stolen valor. The disgraceful Green Ridge Neighborhood Association put up a hometown hero banner for non-veteran draft dodger Joe Biden. When told that it was only intended for veterans, the president of the association said, well, he risked his life every time he left the White House. My God. The banner's been up. We've been talking about it for 220 days. Stolen valor. And now Joe Biden informs us a stolen hometown of Scranton. He's from Baltimore. Disgraceful. Day 220. Take the banner down. And we like to go right to St. Teresa, Mother Teresa from Joe Biden and the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, because they're a disgrace, a sickening disgrace. She is a beautiful saint, literally. July 24th. All of us are called to work in a special way for the sake of peace. In order to bring about that peace, we need to learn from Jesus to be meek and humble of heart. Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity to peace. And I love the message, but sorry, St. Teresa, it does not contemplate evil and therefore is incomplete. We should strive for peace wherever we can. Donald Trump's striving for peace with the evil Iranians and the evil Iranian leadership. Let me be more accurate. But they don't want it. They want destruction. They want the apocalypse. They want the nuclear weapon to bring that apocalypse about. That's who they are. Somebody texted in about the fool who was talking about this. Bob, that texture's going down in the tunnel into a skunk burrow, claiming it's a rabbit hole. Seems like someone ate too many paint chips as a child. ALTS. Yep. Another says, under Democrat logic, couldn't you make the argument that Planned Parenthood and supporters of abortion are participating in genocide? Well, of course they are. Of course they are. My man Rich McHale, instead of texting back, because I don't know how on this medium, get Bobby Valley to call in. He's coming into town, and we'll hear more about that if he calls. We are available to him. And for all of you to call in or to text 570-883-0098. So a little bit of an oleo. My friend Sue the Cat, she texted in a statement by Father Ripperger on Sean Ryan. Now, this Father Ripperger, she tells me, priest, theologian, well-known exorcist, and a brilliant man. If Sue the Cat listens to him, then he is. He's all that. But he said, God had mercy on us because we're stupid, short-sighted, and stupid. It fits. And I have mercy. Okay. I have mercy on those fools who continue to insist on nonsense. We just don't treat it. I say at the beginning of every program, we will not treat it kindly. It's not a safe harbor for stupidity, this Club for Common Sense. It just isn't, and it cannot be. My Bacardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 11 o'clock, and I want to tell you, it is a fabulous jewelry store. That's number one. Cutie has been, since I got her last item from there, her last item of jewelry, she's been, I mean, she barely yells at me anymore, and I deserve it. But they're the watch store. Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Ball watches, which are gorgeous, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock, men's and women's watches, and a collection like you've never seen. On Jefferson Avenue and Spruce Street, downtown Scranton, catty corner from the Radisson. Bacardo's, 3 generations. And my Bacardo Jewelers watch, which is another one, their own brand, 1101. So it's time for the news with Brian Hughes, and then we'll be back on the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. It's 11:07 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch this beautiful Friday, July 24, year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast, and I suspect some other places on the Eastern Seaboard as well. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we've lost this year, but salute and celebrate today, thanks to John. Like Albert Kolbush, McAdoo, James Doc Doherty, Clark Summit, Billy Jones, Dunmore, and Joseph Polster, Scranton. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, after that brief news adjournment, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Yeah, we're back. So one of the trolls texting in, Joe Biden's dad was from Baltimore before moving to Scranton. What do you think? We didn't know that? I mean, this is one of the trolls constantly defending the indefensible. Joe Biden said he was from Baltimore. The Bidens are from Baltimore. The Robinettes are from Baltimore. He ain't from Scranton. And he never said it. The Obama people trying to actually find a way to explain him and brand him, called him Scranton Joey, and used us, another stolen valor. I said this. I wrote a long essay on it. Using us, our work ethic, our reputation for toughness and work ethic and ethnicity, using us to brand himself when he never associated himself with Scranton, ever. And that's adds doubly, triply, quadruply to the disgrace of the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association, trying to associate themselves with this scumbag, worst president of all time. By the way, a little bit of an oleo. My mom texts in, and it bears repeating. Now, while Paige Cognetti was in Bala Cynwyd, outside Philadelphia, at a fundraiser run by a sick, twisted little twerp named Goodman, whose main issue and organization, he's probably just a rich person who inherited everything, his main issue is gender mutilation of children, so-called gender-affirming care. And that means that's Paige Cognetti's one of her main issues. He raised the money so she would mutilate children and vote to do so as a congressperson. So while she was hanging around with child mutilators, Rob Bresnahan and his wife Chelsea took water, paper plates, wipes, utensils, and more to the people who were trapped without water at the German hotel, over 100. And this Sherry Wida just had to mention it to my mother because she was overwhelmed by their generosity. That's our congressman. That's our congressman and his wife. And that's his opponent. Did nothing. Told people, call the water company. They shut City Hall down so people couldn't reach them to ask them what to do during the water crisis. Insane. It's incompetence. It's arrogance. It's lack of caring at such a level, I want you to understand it. And you can say, well, Rob and Chelsea were doing it for political gain. No, they weren't. There weren't cameras there. They didn't call the news media. They went to help people in need during that water crisis that Paige Cognetti ignored. That Paige Cognetti went out of town for, to raise money on behalf of their sick, twisted agenda of mutilating children. It's that simple. Cutie was telling me you're using awfully harsh words. I go, I can't anymore. I can't hold back anymore on Paige Cognetti. I can't say maybe she might be a nice person. I'm watching this unfold. I'm watching her commercials, the sickening commercials. And I can't say she's a nice person anymore. I can't even speculate that she might be. Unbelievable. Somebody says the majority of Planned Parenthoods are in poor black communities. It lets you know exactly which babies they want to get rid of. And that's what Margaret Sanger stated. She wanted to eliminate, as best they could, black and African American children. And this is their goddess. This is the goddess that Paige Cognetti worships. And now they want to mutilate the children that are already born, never mind killing as many as they can. This is insane. You see who these people are? By the way, Paige Cognetti with this corruption thing. She, the person who spent $2 million of our tax money, or is trying to spend $2 million of our tax money, Scranton City Council, you can still stop it. I guarantee you, Fidelity Bank will not ask for their deposit and keep the deposit. I promise you they will not go after penalties. I promise you. There's no consequence to ending an idiotic deal that was made simply to reward Paige Cognetti's contributors. And it's going to cost us a fortune. Rob O'Donnell and I were talking last night at Terra. If she loses for Congress, she's going to resign the mayorship. She's going to resign. She'll get a job with one of her left-wing lunatic groups, and we won't see her again. I'm telling you. Just be aware of that. All right, Bulldog, my screen is not working, so I don't know who I'm calling on, but they're calling regarding the Paige Cognetti commercial. How are you? Who's this? Hello? Al from Larksville.
Hello?
Al, we got you.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to make a point on you're talking about the commercials that Cognetti's making, slam-basting Brezhnev.
Disgusting.
How long has Brezhnev been in office? Less than 2 years, correct?
Yes, correct. Year and a half.
And Cognetti's saying how bad everything is around here, how the jobs are being lost, and all the big wigs are all against the working man. But does anybody realize who and how long they were in office prior to Brezhnev?
I know.
Yeah,
they're counting on people believing lies or being stupid. That's what she's counting on. It's disgraceful.
I think the latter of what you said is it, because I know people that when I talk to them, I just feel like hitting myself in the head with a hammer because it doesn't sink in. I mean, I'm telling you, it's terrible. And if this woman gets in, which I'm hoping that there's enough smart, moderate Democrats to align with the independents and the Republicans to override this baloney from, what's his name, Soros and Mondami's crew.
She's using Mamdani's advisors And the
Yep.
people who created his image, she's using the Graham Plattner, the Nazi from Maine.
Yeah,
They're all
and
on her campaign team. It's incredible.
yes, I know this. And this last commercial where she giggles at the end,
Oh, so phony.
I'm a man, but I would like to do something right there. I'd like to slap it right in the face.
It's a disgrace. The commercial's a disgrace. It's a lie and a disgrace. And she's the one who went along with the Joe Biden pardon of the Kids for Cash judge, and she's got the nerve to bring it up.
Yes.
Had
And
nothing to
how
do with
about
Rob Bresnahan.
How about the editorial sections in the CV? I get it. And today was a bad one. The other day, she was trying to, her people were trying to say that Bresnahan is as bad as Trump. And I don't see any, I don't agree with everything that Trump says, especially says.
Yes.
But he does a lot of good things.
And he has. Yes, he has.
Yep.
Well,
yes, he had.
go ahead.
And they're fighting ICE, and nobody ever realizes or says if it wasn't for what Biden did with the 20 million people, none of these people would be. The truck drivers wouldn't be killing people.
Yep.
The illegal aliens wouldn't be here. ICE wouldn't have to be going out to corral them up to save us. I mean, from murdering, killing, raping these young ladies, they're killing. Nobody brings that up. You know what? Fox
and they
doesn't
don't
bring
even
it
answer.
up.
And they don't even answer when you confront them with it. They don't even answer.
That's when I take my hammer out and hit myself in the head.
Make it a Nerf hammer. Because we want to keep your brains right where they are. Right?
Until the midterms. That's all.
Yes, exactly. And you
I
know
don't
what?
care after that.
When you run into people who are that idiotic and that blind, that myopic, just change the subject to cherry pie because you're not going to win them over.
I do anymore because it's senseless. Like a Nerf hammer isn't strong enough.
Well, but we're going to focus on those who are actually convincible and ask them to get out and vote because really this Rob Bresnahan election, which is a dead heat at the moment by polls, and by the way, that I've told that the Democrat poll shows Rob ahead substantially.
I would believe it. There's another thing I found out. Usually there's a lot of people that say they are a liberal or Democrat, but when it comes time to vote, they look at things and they say, hey, wait a minute. This isn't right with what Cognetti is saying. I remember how it was before Bresnahan was in office. I mean, nothing was being done. Nothing.
Yep. Well, and I say as a Scrantonian who's watched her as mayor for 5 years, she sucks. It isn't that she's a lunatic left. It's not only that. On top of it, she's incompetent. It's insane.
Well, how about her school board job?
Yep.
When the tough gets going, she got up and went.
And she was appointed to that by the people in power. She had fundraiser and was recruited and they raised funds and ran her campaign by the establishment. She's buying buildings off the establishment, and yet she's running against the machine. Yep.
Well, I tell my wife. My wife sometimes doesn't agree with me, but I tell her that she is the machine right now.
Yes.
And she's claiming she's fighting against the machine. When you have George Soros on your side, you are the machine. You can't deny it because he single-handedly. Well, him and a couple other billionaires are trying to destroy our country and what it stands for.
Yep.
And I can't stand it anymore.
Don't ever hit yourself with a hammer. We want your mind right where it is.
I used to be a carpenter. I accidentally did once or twice.
All right. Al, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
Okay, Bob.
All right.
Take care.
We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. I feel so much better after having talked to Al. We'll be back. Soundgarden, #1 hit with Black Hole Sun. This date, 1994. I heard that song before. And, of course, 1974. This is just before Richard Nixon forced to resign. And guess who went down to tell him? And I'm not giving credit to the Republican Party, but certainly the age. Our own Senator Hugh Scott, along with Barry Goldwater. They went down and said, Mr. President, you have to resign. We now know you committed crimes. Now, when you put it in the context of the Biden administration, you say, my God, is that all he did? Is that all Nixon did? Biden only let 20 million people into the country, the scumbag. Criminals, all. He only pushed and pursued men and women's locker rooms and sports. He only pushed and pursued gender-affirming care that Paige Cognetti is raising money on. Yeah. He only lied about pretty much everything that came out of his mouth. Disgraceful. And Graham Plattner, where were the Democrats for him? Until the polls went south, they didn't care. Same thing with Biden. Didn't care. Insane. Hey, Bobby Valley's going to be in town, and we're excited about it. And he's on the blower with us right now. Bobby, how are you, man?
I'm listening to your conversation. It's terrific.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I get myself in a lather very regularly.
No.
And I needed you to calm me down.
Well, we're going to be doing that big show tomorrow. And we've done very well, but there's still a few tickets left. Everybody wants to come to the show. And you got Eddie V from the Hamlin area, does a great job. Pam, all the great girl songs, and we'll invite the women up to. And if you love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, and you want to see a Jersey Boys show, his brother Bobby Valley will be doing it for you tomorrow.
All right. Where is it at? Tell us again. And
It's
what
at
time?
our place in Hamlin on 590.
And it's at what time?
Gee, that's a good question.
I think 7 o'clock
I
is
would
my
imagine it's
recollection.
around 6, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have the exact thing
And
in
it's
front
like
of me.
$30, $35 buffet dinner.
Yeah,
I'm
for,
trying to
for
recall.
a buffet, yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun, Bob.
Everybody
lot of fun.
loved it last year. I got so much feedback from your show. People should remember tomorrow night, Saturday night, that you're going to be there on Route 590. It's called Our Place.
Our place.
Nice.
On Hamlin on 590.
All right. And a couple tickets still available, so a great place to hang out tomorrow night. And Bobby, too, you put on not just a show, but your personality is you're just enjoyable to be with.
You're saying all the right things, Bob. Thank you. Thank you.
Bobby Valley tomorrow night at our place, 7 o'clock, buffet, $35. And you're gonna love it. I hope everybody
Thank
goes. You. All right, Bobby.
I have one more thing I'd like to say to you before I get off the air.
Sure.
I know it's a little political, but I'm going to tell you anyway. At the Smithsonian Institute, they're teaching that politeness and working hard is white supremacy.
Yeah, I know.
So
I haven't gotten
all
on
our
to
patriots out
Smithsonian
there that
yet.
love our great country, please come tomorrow night and have a wonderful time.
a patriot and a performer, our man Bobby Valley. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Bob, for having me.
We love you. We'll take a break. It's 11:30. Wait, we got Brian Hughes in the studio. Before we go to the break, he's got an update on that traffic situation.
Yeah, Bob. I got to see Bobby Valley at the Nayog Pavilion show, and he's a great guy.
He's good.
We still have 81 southbound shut down between exit 165 and 164. That's Mountaintop Blackman Street in Nanacoke. It was a multi-vehicle accident.
Wow.
Happened just before 10 o'clock this morning. As a result of that shutdown, there's heavy volume on Route 309 southbound, which is Wilkes-Barre Township Boulevard, going from Cole Street southbound to Blackman Street. And backlogs on 81 southbound approach the Wilkes-Barre Bear Creek exits 170. So, it's going to be a mess for a little while longer. We don't know exactly when that's going to be cleared up. We're not aware if there's any injuries or exactly how many vehicles were involved in that wreck.
Yeah, God bless the people in that accident. Well, thank you, Brian. We appreciate it. So 81 South, still a problem, guys. 11:31 on my Picardo's watch. We'll be back with the Veterans Tribute after these great messages. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as always, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. Patriotically, dutifully, loyally. Great supporter of our veterans and this country. And today, it's Friday, so we're thinking about where we're going to go. I don't have much decision to make because I know they're all great. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern on the main drag, downtown Oliphant. And then for fine dining, I was there last night. I'll be back there this weekend. A Terra 519. The best in fine dining in Northeast Pennsylvania and beyond. Gorgeous, gorgeous restaurant. The new chef, Alex Diaz, making it happen. New menu. Less expensive items, more affordable. It's just great. And the Stegmeyer Mansion. Outstanding. An old world take on the same incredible, unforgettable dining experience. That's the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Joseph Polster, we lost him July 21st. He was 83, a resident of Scranton. His wife of 56 years, the former Carol Samsel, died back in September of 2025. Joseph was born in Scranton, graduate of St. Mary's High School, class of 1960. He received certificates from the Scranton School District in auto mechanics after completing over 400 hours of education in 63 and 64. He was employed by RCA Thompson. After his retirement, Joe took a computer courses at Marywood. He was a U.S. Army veteran, a loving husband, father, and pop-up, devoted to caring for his wife and children, member of St. Teresa of Calcutta Parish. Joe loved classic cars, barbecues, and the beach with his family. Surviving, his son Joseph and his wife Michelle, his daughter Maureen, a granddaughter, a sister Trudy, and other family members. Joseph Polster, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. AccuWeather forecast, today mostly sunny. High 84. Tonight clear, low 58. It is perfect Montage Mountain water park weather. Perfect. And that's why they're bringing you the weather. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, beautiful start to the weekend. 86 degrees, low 57. Sunday, some sun, then turning cloudy. High 86, low 62. Monday, more humid with sunshine mixing with some clouds. An afternoon thunderstorm, high 85, low 69. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, humid with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm. That may happen. The high will be 81, the low 62. And that's your weather report, brought to you by people proud to bring you the weather report because it's water park weather. The great gang at Montage Mountain, where it's 77 degrees at the water park right now. I think the Bulldog loves that song too. I know I do. And it always gets me happy. I don't know why. Well, maybe because of Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International Realty, Naples, Florida. You could reach her through Sotheby's in Naples or go right to the source, Tina Morocco, M-U-R-A-C-C-O, TinaMorocco.com or Tina Morocco, M-U-R-A-C-C-O, on any social media. And here she is, our gal, Tina Morocco. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Bob. Hi. How could you not love that song?
Honest to gosh, it fires me up. The Bulldog loves it because he's generally a very dour person. I have to shake him out of his dour Bulldog attitude, you know?
Well, there's no time for blues on a Friday.
That's right, especially a Friday in Naples and Southwest Florida.
Well, since it's Friday, let's talk about something fun in Southwest Florida. So when I moved to Southwest Florida, one of the first things I noticed going to the grocery stores was they're full of orchids. And I was like, what, I understand that it's tropical down here, but what in the world? Like, this is over the top, full of orchids. And so when we would go to like friends' houses or parties or anything, everybody would always bring orchids. And I'm like, what is going on with these orchids? And so I realized that these orchids, if you keep them inside, they last maybe a month and then they drop the flowers and then it looks like just a giant stick. Well, if you put it outside, you don't have to do anything to it. It just continues to bloom in Florida.
Really?
So so you really don't have to do anything. You can tie them to these trees, like you'll see them tied to palm trees or other trees. It just, like the humidity feeds them, and they're just, native to Florida, so HOA approved in most instances.
Yeah.
So it's just really like a gorgeous tropical thing to add to your home, but also in a lot of these luxury homes or even in the villas where they have these attached walls, they do orchid walls. So they'll put the orchids, like hang the orchids on the wall. So it's this kind of lush, tropical, beautiful landscaping
How about that?
idea.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
I've been to the Southwest Florida a number of times. I never noticed this orchid thing. Now I'm going to be looking out for it.
Definitely. And if you're a fan of orchids, like a lot of people there are, the Naples Botanical Garden is one of the top places, I think, in the world for orchid collecting and orchid shows. The orchid show is in February. Yeah, and that's the Botanic Garden's about 5 minutes from downtown Naples, and it's absolutely stunning. I mean, they have more than just orchids there. It's great if you like to walk. It's, beautifully landscaped and, just one of those places where it's just kind of zen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So a little tropical fun for your Friday.
I get wistful when you tell me about these great things in Southwest Florida. Well, thank you, Tina Morocco. We're so excited. That's Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's Realty, Naples, Florida. You could reach her there or at Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, or any social media. She's your trusted guide to Florida real estate and specializes in Southwest Florida. Thanks, Tina.
Absolutely. Take care.
Have a great weekend. We're going to have a better one just because we listened to her. Love it. Hey, let's go to Ben from Duryea. Ben, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you, Bob?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Talk to me. What do you got?
Well, I want to talk a little about the referendum petition going on in Luzerne County. It kind of ties into your point with Portland Page. I guess I'm just baffled that the county, Luzerne County, Lackawanna County, our Northeast Pennsylvania region, allows for all kinds of outside money to influence what happens to us in our backyard.
Yeah.
And it seems that the Democrats don't bat an eye to that. And the county referendum that we're doing in Luzerne County is completely predicated on policies that they're pushing down our throats from outside groups. And I don't think enough people know that.
It's total, and what has happened because normal people have not turned out to vote in the numbers that they should, according to their citizenship and responsibilities. That's how 7 of these lunatics got in on the county council, which had been conservative dominated.
Yeah, we were at a 10-1 at one point, and you're absolutely right. We didn't show up to vote. Republicans were too busy infighting. I totally get that. But I think what's still, the infighting hurt, but what still baffles me, Bob, is that there is money pouring in from California. We have receipts. We have campaign finance reports to show this to people. And it's almost like if you go to the left, you show it to them and they don't want to believe their own 2 eyes. They're acting like it's not happening, and I don't understand that.
There is a disconnect. Like this tradition of voting for a particular political party. In this case, and in the sad case, it's the Democrat Party, which has gone completely astray. And they'll still vote on tradition instead of their own and their own family's benefit. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, I feel like we're being played. I feel like there's I'm not even going to go down the road here, but I mean, anybody could easily influence the Democrat Party these days, it seems, as long as you have enough money. Because I feel like that's all we're dealing with is just this giant push of money. Action Together NEPA, we closely watch them because they're trying to puppet master our county.
Yeah.
And you should see the donations pouring in for them from out of this state and the kind of groups that are putting money into Action Together's pockets.
And see, they realize how critical Luzerne County is, not only for the congressional seat Rob Bresnahan holds, but nationwide in the presidential election. And they've really focused a lot of out-of-town money and a lot of left-wing lunatic money. Well, look at Paige Cognetti. Maximum contributions from the Soros family, members of the Soros family, multiple members, and $8.5 million spent already by outside groups. It's incredible.
Absolutely. And let me finish with this, Bob. A lot of the Democrats that I know, close to my family and everything, these are your JFK Democrats. This is the old Blue Dog Democrats. These people got to wake up and see that it's no longer about party. It's about common sense versus radicalness. And if they can't see that with these donations pouring in now, they're never going to see it.
I know. Well, we just got to, I was taught an old maxim in radio. It goes for advertising. It goes for politics. When you're almost nauseated from saying something, they're just starting to hear it. So we've just got to keep beating the drum. It's just what is.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Everything you do, Bob.
Thank you, Ben, so much. Have a great weekend, brother. 11:45. That means we want to take a break. We want to hear from our great sponsors because they make this all happen. And then they allow our salespeople to make money and raise their families. So we love that, too. Let's take this break and be back. Matchbox 20. Murph tells us this date, 2004. They moved up to number 4 with their hit Unwell. And we're going to finish by special request. And we had the opening. Toby Keith and Willie Nelson. What is it, Bulldog? Whiskey for the horses, or whiskey for the men and beer for the horses. That's how we're going to finish it up. But we've got still a lot more to do. And by the way, didn't that tug at your creek? Or your heartstrings, coal mining ancestry. Coal mining is just, I mean, it's in my veins, it's in my heart. 2002, the 9 coal miners at Q Creek Mine. And they were all saved 77 hours later. Amazing stuff. And we can all appreciate that from Northeast Pennsylvania. It's what made us tough. It's what made us great. And formed a serious part of our work ethic and everything that is good about this area, the mining industry. Quickly, you're going to go to the policeman's prayer that my man Nicky DeSanto provided years ago, because they'll be out there providing the thin blue line for all of us, risking their lives, putting it all out there. So we want to remember them, the policeman's prayer. Lord, bless the ones who wear the badge, the ones who walk the beat, protect and keep them safe while they are on the street. As they wait and as they watch, doing good for all, guide their minds and give them strength for each and every call. Ready to put their lives on the line, give them courage each day. Let them know you're always there in each and every way. So bless the ones who wear the badge, protect them from harm. Always keep them safe and in your loving arms. And here comes Willie and all of that. Toby Keith. We've got Tomorrow Never Comes. We found this years ago in the obituary of the Blessed Doreen Gorieb. It's a poem by Norma Cornett Merrick. She said, if I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I would give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you, and I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone, young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a text, a call, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. Use the weekend wisely. That's what that means. Reach out. Someone you haven't talked to in a while, maybe someone you had a problem with. It works. It helps. It makes the world go round. Thanks to Roach Supply for putting us on YouTube. They're the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 3 generations, led by 96-year-old Ron Roach. Amazing. 75 years in business because they're great at what they do. ROCHE, roachsupply.com, or stop in Roach Supply in Honesdale or Chapman Supply in South Abington Township. We love them. And, of course, thank you to Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor, your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. Guys, I had a great week with you. I always do. I always do. And I got to tell you, I can't wait till Monday. I don't want the time to pass. And I will have a blast this weekend. I think there's about a 90% probability of that. But you don't know the pleasure you are being with, even those of you who didn't get it yet. we still love you. You're part of our large dysfunctional family. Come around and start using your head, okay? But for now, we must gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense and finish out the week because it's 12 o'clock on my Picardo's watch. Sue Henry, Best of Sue Henry next. The Rob O'Donnell Show after that. But for now, we gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. And God willing, I'll be with you Monday at 9. Be safe. Have fun. Rest up if you can. Adios.